Okay, awesome. My name is Reza Jafari. Thank you, Atafe, for the introduction. Thank you, Chas, for the opportunity. Very excited to be a part of this presentation. Actually, I'm an honor member of the ASCE, and I've been active, much more active in the past, a little bit more active now. I'm an Iranian American broker, investor, civil engineer, planner, researcher, you name it. So I've been living in North Carolina in Raleigh and Cary, Morrisville area for long, for I say almost 17 years now. Excuse my accent. I have Iranian, Indian, Southern accent. So please stop me at any point if you have a hard time understanding. I try to speak a little bit slower so you can understand me. But nevertheless, time flies. It was like yesterday. It was actually 17 years ago when the first time I called Dr. Hammer at NC State for a research position and financial aid at school. So life is full of adventure. There is, let me see, for some reason I cannot see my own page. Here we go. Much better now. So there is no such a thing as a clear pathway. This is from a businessman and investor, a Canadian investor. You know, he got a few nice books. What we are going to do today. Again, I'm having a hard time actually seeing my own screen, but that's okay. Here we go. I had to minimize the whole screen. This is the outline for today's presentation. Why real estate? What is real estate? What real estate is not? For whom should we recommend real estate? What is actually the role of civil engineers here, and why civil engineers have a better chance of success in real estate? I'll talk about the brokers and agents. What is the difference? Why actually I say there is a little bit of correlation between civil engineers and brokers. How to get involved in real estate? What are the obstacles? How about future? What's going to happen in the future? As an example, I bring the automated vehicles. I asked Dr. Hammer to join us. You know, he's with NCDOT, used to be NC State, my PhD advisor. So hopefully he can join us and he can talk a little bit about automated vehicles. And you're going to get surprised to know how much effect it's going to have in our actually real estate and land developments and etc. So I'll talk about the current market. You know, I'll discuss a little bit more about the investment process, everything, and then you know, a couple of items. You know, it's not much, but you know, I'll talk about the financing a little bit if you have time. You know, if we should go for the new properties, old properties, etc. But again, these are just examples. And then at the end, we'll have a conclusion. When a few books actually changed my life. As I said, I wasn't really expecting to get into real estate until one day actually I read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's a very famous book. I'm sure you've heard about that. And if you haven't, please go ahead and start reading this book. It gives you an overview of the assets and liability. What is the difference between asset and liability? Asset is actually what puts money in your pocket. Liability is what takes money out of it. So lots of people think that your primary residence is your asset. It's not your asset. Your car is not your asset because you're paying for it. If you have a piece of property, condo or whatever, that generates some money for you, that is liability. It generates money for you. So then another book I can recommend is Learn to Earn. This is actually one of the really good books by Mr. Lynch. He discusses actually how to start a business, how to invest, how to overall be an investor. So the other book, which actually kind of sort of doesn't have anything to do with investing or real estate, but I love it. The Obstacle is the Way. That is something that I really enjoy. As soon as I see an obstacle, I see the opportunity, because I feel like lots of other people or public doesn't go for it because of the obstacles. So I get so excited when there is an obstacle. And to be honest with you, another main reason that I'm really interested in real estate and of course, investing, is that most successful people have done it and are doing it now, and they are successful. I mean, look around you. Look at our old presidents. You don't have to be the president to be successful, but he was the president, and lots of other people. McDonald's, the main source of income for McDonald's is real estate. It's not sandwich. So I mean, when you look around you, you notice that lots of other people are doing real estate and are doing investment, and they are happy. And by the way, let me emphasize something here. This is actually the engineering week. I'm not discouraging you. I'm not trying to encourage you to do something different than engineering. I'm an engineer. I love engineering. But what I'm saying is that you can do something on top of your daily job, your daily, the way you're making money now. So it's good that you're an engineer. Because you're an engineer, you're smarter than majority of people. So I'll explain later on. I believe we as engineers, and especially civil engineers, are smarter and more capable of doing things that other people cannot do. So the other thing actually about real estate is that I feel like we need to know the basic no matter what. What do I mean by that? The basic of real estate, I mean, you need to live somewhere. You cannot stay on the streets. You can't live on the street. So we are not homeless people. We have to live somewhere. We rent or we own. So we need to have some basic information. You don't have to be a medical doctor to know about your body, but you need to have a little bit knowledge of your body. How much, what's your cholesterol, how much food you're eating today, what's going to happen to your body in 10 years, whatever. You need to have some sort of basic information. The same in real estate and investment. You need to know some stuff no matter what. Like what? Financing, refinancing. What is, I don't know, how can I borrow some money from other people? How to deal with lenders. These are the type of information that you need to know no matter what. So, I mean, that's why I'm trying to say that it's good to have this information. So the other reason I'm saying actually real estate is good is that when you buy a piece of property, most of the time, most places, including Raleigh, when you rent the property, it pays for, in real estate, we call it PT, stands for principal, interest, tax, and insurance, and it pays for the repairs. So, and if you're smart, you know what you're doing, it could generate income. So the other important thing is that, as I said, you don't have to quit your daily job. You can keep doing what you're doing. This could be a passive income. It means you work a little bit hard for it, but you don't have to do anything else for the rest of your life until until you decide to sell it or whatever. So as long as you act smart now, you're good to go. It pays for your retirement. It pays for the college, for kids' college. It pays for lots of things at the end of the day. So, I mean, when I was actually when I was working for private firm, you know, I was always thinking, what am I going to do after retirement? Am I going to be in good shape or what? But when I discovered that real estate is so good, I noticed that when I invest in a couple of properties after my retirement, it would pay much more than my retirement plan. So these are the very simple math that, you know, most people, actually engineers, can do better. Let's put it that way. The other thing I say real estate is good because supply doesn't meet the demand. It means population increases, but land doesn't. So maybe this is not accurate 100%. For example, you know, that wasn't accurate in Detroit during the recession or other places. But I say, you know, most of the time this is accurate. So the other thing is that, you know, it's always actually when we have land, when actually we have some single families, townhomes, when we don't have that many lands anymore, we go from horizontal to vertical. Single families and townhomes are going to be converted to condos, high rises, etc. So the other thing I wanted to mention is, you know, some people get confused. I'm happy because my property or my properties get appreciation and the value of my property get increased, or am I happy that my property has depreciation? So both of them are good for investors. What do I mean by that? Appreciation is good because after 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, when you sell your property, you make good money out of it. Depreciation is also good for you because the government, IRS, is giving you lots of tax benefits because your house is depreciating. So both of them actually are good for us as an investor. And as I said, you know, lots of tax benefits. So what is actually the real estate? And I'll explain what is not real estate. So what is real estate? Real estate is something tangible. I mean, and you have it, you go touch it every day and try to buy properties as close as you are. When you live in North Carolina, Raleigh, don't buy investment properties in Florida. Don't buy them in Boston. So just try to bring them all together as much as you can. Rule of thumb is something like 10, 15 miles away from your house. So, and also it's compared to other modes of actually investment, it's less risky proposition. What do I mean by that? Even if your house is burned down, somebody else would build it brand new, give it to you for free. Why? Because you already paid lots of insurance for it. So you have to take advantage of it. So it's less risky. Real estate has reasonable rate on investments. And of course, as I mentioned, you know, it has good appreciation. When you're planning to sell it, you can make good money out of it. I keep saying this passive income because that's a very key actually aspect of real estate for you guys who don't have the time actually to do real estate. You want to do it on the side. So that was something that you know, I had in my mind for years and years. And I've heard from other people that, you know, there are lots of successful people, you know, doctors, medical doctors, whatever. They're doing real estate. And I was always surprised. do they really have time to manage those properties? Do they have time to do what they're doing in their daily life and at the same time make good money out of the real estate? Yes, because it's a passive income. They don't have to work hard for it. They just leave it aside, have somebody take care of it, and just act smart, and you're going to be good to go. So the other thing, real estate, I say is good because it doesn't have that much, inflation, unless unlike other modes like stock market that I'll talk. You can use leverage for that. It means you don't have to use your own money. You can borrow other people's money and take control of. Let's say you, if you wanted to do other investments, you have to have 100% of that money to control your asset. But in real estate, you have only, I don't know, maybe 10%, 20%, 25%, whatever. Um, you borrow the rest of the money from lenders, or you actually take it out of your equity from your home equity line of credit, and you take the 100% control of your asset. That's really important. So I understand some people say, hey, there is a transaction cost. There are some efforts, associated with real estate. I understand that, but it's compared to what you get. This is not really that much. So what is not actually real estate? So as an example, for the purpose of this presentation, I just compare real estate to stock market because of course, there are lots of other ways to actually invest and make more money. And like, I don't know, I mean, if you're good at it, you can open Subway, you can do something different. But, most people, when they have a little bit more money that they need, they think about stock market or real estate. So, for the purpose of this presentation, I concentrate on this stock market to compare to real estate. So stock market, yes, I understand. It's easy to do it. It's easy to diversify. Yes, you can cash it anytime you want. It has lower transaction cost, maybe. Yes, click of a button, you can just transfer your money from this account to another account. You can do whatever you want. You can cash it very easy. But at the same time, as I said, it's very high risk. It means it could evaporate like easy. Today you have 1 million, tomorrow you could have 100,000. You see what happened to actually during the recession. Yes, during the last recession, at least that's what I remember. So the real estate also got bad, but stock market was really, really down. So the other disadvantage here is that you pay big taxes for every transaction that you have for stock market. The last reason, the most important reason I don't like stock market or digital money or whatever is emotional investing. I tried it for 2 days and I couldn't stand it anymore. The reason is that, I had to keep up, I had to check my phone, my computer every 5 minutes to see what happened to it. If it's up or down, it was crazy. People do that, people are happy, but I can't do that. I'll mention somewhere at the end, because first of all, I don't have that much knowledge on it. And, I don't feel comfortable with it. And also, because of all other reasons that I mentioned. So for whom do I recommend real estate or actually investment, this type of investments? For the people who are open-minded. If you're a type of person who, like to work for a firm, do what you do every day, and you cannot even, that's my problem with lots of, my former colleagues and the people I've been dealing with. You're working so hard to make money, and when it comes to your mortgage, when it comes to refinancing, when it comes to spending your money, yes, when you go to grocery store, You count every penny. But when it comes to your mortgage, you don't know what happened to your payments. You don't even know why you're paying this much. If there is a better way to reduce your payments or not. Is that a good time to invest now? To refinance now or not? These are the type of questions that, it needs a little bit, thinking outside the box. So, I strongly recommend you guys. If you're already doing it, that's awesome. If not, at least think about that. Again, you don't have to spend lots of time, but just be smart or hire smart people. When I say be smart, don't be smarty pants like myself, but be smart, think smart. So you don't have to have lots of money. A little bit money can would go a long way when you're looking at real estate. And of course, you need to have a good credit. If you just started working, graduated from college, which is awesome. You're smart because you just finished. You went to college for a 4 or 5 year college degree. You're smart. You do much better math than let's say public. But at the same time, you need to build it up a little bit. You need to have good credit, and then you need to know the market. I'll mention it at the end. The market now is crazy. So you need to know the market. You need to do some you need to know what you're doing, and you need to actually talk to the professionals to make sure you're not going to the wrong direction. So you guys, I assume all of you are civil engineers. I'm a proud civil engineer. Doesn't matter which type of civil engineering work you do, but the bottom line is that real estate much more than other folks. We do know real estate. We understand real estate better than mechanical engineers, better than electrical engineers, better than medical doctors. Why is that? Because we touch concrete. We do actually building design. We do road design. We understand dirt. So that's why, and of course, as I mentioned, we are smart. We do much better math than majority of people. Doesn't matter what type of actually work you do, but what I say is that you can be good at real estate if you want it, much better than other folks. So who are brokers or agents? Of course, agents are the people who are actually working for other companies. Brokers are, real estate brokers are actually the business owners of real estate companies. So honestly, this is very easy to do. Compared to what you're doing now and what you had to do to achieve what you have now, getting your license as an agent or a broker is easy. A few months of hard work, going to classes, whatever. You need, I mentioned myself here. I need to do marketing. I need to be the person of people because I need to communicate with people every single day. Most engineers don't need to do that. You just sit down, work on your map, you work on your sketch, you work on your design, and go home. You don't talk to other people. But this is not. It's not the same here. So I need to do some. I need to have some statistical skills to look at the data, what happened in the past with the market, with real estate, what's happening now, and how I can take advantage of this information to predict what's going to happen in the future. But good luck with that. There is no way, we can come up with a good strategy to predict what's going to happen in the future. I remember actually from Dr. Stone at NC State, he always said, the only person who can predict future is God. So, whatever we do, the best statistical models we use, there is no way we can predict future the way it's supposed to be. So we do the best we can. Regardless, at the end of the day, we come up with comparable market analysis or fair market analysis to come up with good strategy to actually estimate properties. And of course, I have to find opportunities for myself and for other people. And at the same time, I need to actually have good contacts with good people around me, like good handymen, good appraisers, inspectors, you name it. So I need to have a list of all those people whenever I need to, I can contact them. Actually, going back to previous slide, one other thing is that for the purpose of this presentation, I didn't really concentrate on real estate development that much because it's that involves actually another can of worm. I'm not really good at getting permits. I know a little bit of it. I know City of Raleigh and other nearby actually municipalities are doing awesome job. They made it very easy for public to understand, to get permits. But I mean, it's not really that. That's not me. So how to get involved? Actually, I was planning to stop at some point and ask if you guys have any questions. I think that's a good time now. You guys got any questions for me at this point? Or should I keep going?
I don't see any questions in the chat. Please keep going. That's all.
Okay. So maybe I'm very boring, or I'm really good at what I say. So how to get involved? You could be an investor or a landlord. Oh, by the way, let's go back to, I'm going to mention that here, never mind. So, a landlord, you get a piece of property, you rent it. You just listen to other people and do what they tell you, which is not bad. I mean, it's good. An investor does much more than that. The investor, of course, does investment for himself, but at the same time actually helps other people to invest. And that's also, I feel like if you want to be successful, you have to, make it a little bit better, bigger than being a landlord. You have to be an investor to understand, what actually investing is. What do I mean by that? As an investor who's actually helping other people to invest, I look at different criteria. I look at your, first of all, I have to look at your profile to see what is actually, what is your tax bracket? What is your plan for the future? Are you planning to keep the property for 5 years or 15 years or 30 years? What type of tenants are you planning to deal with? I think I'm going to mention that somewhere at the end of the presentation, but that's a good time to say that. So, what type of actually tenants you're planning to deal with? Like, you want to deal with students, or you want to deal with Airbnb, or what are you planning to do? So the next step is understanding the difference between agency and brokerage. So, I strongly recommend you guys don't get involved into it. You don't want to sell and buy properties for other people. They're not making good money. Usually, I mean, again, most of the time, majority of people, agents actually make much less than you engineers. So you don't want to, you don't want these to be your active income. You want to be an investor, no broker, no agent. So I think I answered that, the next one too. So be smart, use technology. Um, uh, you have spare time every night before going to bed. Do some research, read articles. It's very exciting. At least I enjoy it very much. So I spend a couple of hours every day, reading about real estate, knowing a little bit more. What type of properties are good? What is the market status now? What's going to happen tomorrow? Keep doing that if you're doing it now. Knowing the market, as I said, is hard, but it's very important to know your existing current market to predict it for the future. The other thing actually I need to mention is if you're one of those people who actually, if you're always in a hurry, you don't have the time or you don't want to think about something, you just want to go to the store, buy what you need and leave the store like this, maybe investment, maybe real estate is not a good idea for you. Real estate is all about taking your time. If time is on your side, you're the winner. Doesn't matter if you're selling or buying. If you buy and sell and take your time, you're the winner. Because if you know, mm, I I always get excited when I see someone is in hurry and want to sell or buy actually quick, because that's a good opportunity for me. So, so how to get involved? If you have cash, bring it on. If not, you don't really have to have cash. Just use your equity. What is equity? The money that you have in your house, you don't even know it, but you can take advantage of it. So let's say you bought your house for 400 and you paid actually, let's say 100,000 down payment. And now your house is, let's say 500. So you have almost 200,000 equity in your house. So you can take advantage of it. You can go get a second mortgage or home equity line of credit and use that money. You don't have to just leave it there. So use leverage, as I said in previous slides, borrow money smartly and use OPM. It's not OPM, it's OPM. It's other people's money. So use other people's money to take advantage of the market. Get advice from brokers, from financial advisors. If you don't have one, please ask financial advisors. They can make a profile of your entire life. Like, they can show you on the graph. You're an engineer, you understand it. So they can show you on the graph what you're doing now is good, but you can do better. They can tell you based on what you're doing now, what's going to happen in 10 years, in 15 years, if everything stays the same. They can tell you what's going to happen if you or your wife actually lose, one of you lose your job. So they can do lots of financial stuff for you that most people are not aware of it. Ask help from lenders, estate planners, and of course much more. So I think I mentioned the statistical models that nobody's good at it, but we all try to do the best we can. Trust in yourself. One of the things is that actually when it comes to real estate, people hear different news from different places. Do as much as you can on your research, and then at some point trust in yourself. When you do investment in real estate, or most of the time any type of investment, doing nothing is not a good answer here. Doing something, you're going to be the winner no matter what. So if you do more research, you're going to gain more. If you do less research, you still gain, but you don't gain that much. So obstacles. I love obstacles. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning, when I see the obstacles, it means 95% of the people are not looking at it. They're not going for it. So I'm going for it. I always look at the properties. If as soon as I see the property in the market, look at this market. In the last few weeks and months, doesn't matter if you have 200,000 house or 300 or 500 or whatever. Usually you can sell it like within hours or days. People. North Raleigh on Buffalo Road, there was a property, small property for 225,000. They got 61 offers 2 weeks ago, 61 offers. So market is crazy, yes, but you have to do your research. If everybody is looking at it, if everybody is actually putting an offer for that house, it doesn't mean that's a good house. People do make lots of mistakes now. There was another actually property. It had a huge crack on the slab from this side to the other side of the house, and everybody could see it. Asking price 325, and I was thinking this house, they can't sell it more than 250 because of this crack. You know what happened? Because of the crack, actually, it was delayed for maybe 4 days. At the end, they got 5,000 over asking price. I mean, people do crazy things. So know the market. Try to know the market. Of course, there are lots of unknown things in the future, which hopefully Dr. Hammer actually will discuss about one of them. It's harder in the beginning. It gets easier. It's much more difficult when you have only one rental property. It gets easier when you have two. It gets much easier when you have three. So, but there are some hassles. Of course, nothing comes easy. And if it was easy, let's put it that way. It's not easy, but it's easy for civil engineers and for you guys. So, what are the problems here we have? Of course, if you have a bad experience, with tenant, that's a game changer. You're not going to go for the next house. But do your research, act smart, location, buy good locations, buy good properties, do more research, no hurry, don't just rent your house to anyone who shows up, find good tenants, to avoid dealing with attorneys, with court, with whatever. And then it would actually stop you doing more. So Dr. Hammer, are you a part of the presentation now? Would you like to join us to say hi?
Yeah, I'm here, Reza. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
Great. Yeah, thanks for carving out a couple minutes here. Really appreciate what you're saying so far. Thanks for putting this slide together. I think that automated vehicles are going to be one of the big game changers in real estate in the coming years. I think in a rich area like Raleigh or Charlotte, automated vehicles will take over in 2040, plus or minus 10 years. So there's kind of a big window there, but at some point, most of us will give up owning a vehicle and will cash in for a subscription to Tesla or Uber or Waymo or Ford or whomever, and let the machine do the driving for us. How that changes real estate, I can think of maybe 4 different ways. Reza listed decentralization on the slide. That's certainly one of them. When commutes are cheaper and quicker and easier, and I can stay productive in my car, why live in North Raleigh when I can live at Carr Lake? And so those outlying areas, maybe an hour outside of town, I think all of a sudden get a lot more valuable with automated vehicles. Second thing he listed there, the increased density downtown, because downtown housing is very expensive now because of parking spaces. But when we have automated vehicles and we don't need that expensive parking space, and we're just buying house instead of the parking garage, I think that means downtown housing gets a lot more affordable, and things really change there. Third thing on my mind is retail space. When we don't need the big parking lot around the mall or around the strip shopping center anymore, that changes. Those areas get a lot denser, get a lot greener, frees up a lot of space for doing something creative, or basically wherever we've got a big old parking lot now. And then the fourth thing on my mind is the humble suburban single family house. When we don't need a garage, we don't need a driveway, what are we going to do with that extra space? Lots can get smaller, garages can be repurposed, and new houses can be built without garages, and housing gets a lot more affordable. But those of us who own houses with 2 or 3 or 4 car garages might have a little bit of a white elephant on our hand. So I'm probably wrong. I could be wrong. Lay out a lot more detail in my book, which Reza showed there on the slide, published recently by ASCE. But it's going to be a game changer, and I appreciate Reza the opportunity to spout off a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hammer. Yes, actually, this book, The Driverless America, is one of the best books I've ever read. I say after college. So it's very easy to read, very easy to understand. It's on Amazon. Please go and buy it. It's awesome, and it opens up lots. You know what's going to happen in the future, and I was expecting what Dr. Hammer is actually predicting happens much sooner, but maybe COVID-19 actually put a hold on some of them, but nevertheless it's going to happen. So, and we are expecting to have big change in the near future. So a couple of more slides actually regarding a few things that I thought maybe I should bring them up. So why market is doing what it's doing now? So if you've been in the market of buying or selling or talking to friends, you've been surprised what happened in the last few again weeks and months. The interest rates are still low; they're going up, and I feel like they will go up, and they're not going to come back anymore. So we are somewhere at the bottom. That's one reason actually the market is so hot, and it's seller market. People just want to buy no matter what. The other reason is remote working. People actually are moving from other states to North Carolina and Raleigh. Raleigh has been one of the best places to live in terms of housing, forever, because to live and as an investor. I had to, when I started doing real estate, I noticed that if I wanted to make, let's say, $2,000 a month from rent in Boston, I had to buy a property for, let's say, 500, 700 or so to make only 2,000 out of it every month. But in North Carolina, when I started, I could buy something like 200, 250 to make 1,500 to 2,000 every month. Now it's a little bit more because the prices are actually increased. I say maybe 10% or 15, 20% in the last year or so. But still a good place actually for investors and for people to live and pay less for housing. People are moving from other states. They still have their job in Boston, in New York, in California, but they live here. Even students, some students actually, we have a sitter. She goes to actually Arizona State University, but she lives in Raleigh. So another reason is Open Door, Zillow, and other big companies. Unfortunately for us, good for them, they actually did lots of homework and they're buying houses like crazy. So, and they buy houses, let's say they buy a house 200 today. So the owner of this property is in rush and they have to sell it. So they sell it to them for 200, 190 or whatever. Zillow or Open Door, they have big money and they're not in rush. So they buy it and put it in the market, and they don't really, how much are they going to ask for it? 250. So 250, if they don't sell it in 2 weeks, they don't care. They sell it in 6 months, but they get much more than what they paid. And on top of what we see on the paper, they charge some legal fees, other fees that, you know, they make money out of it. So another reason actually the market is crazy now in Raleigh area is because of the tax values. The tax values actually was increased. They were reappraised in Wake County and increased back in January 1st, 2020, over a year ago, but the tax bills don't come out until September. But the due is January 5th of 2021. So people maybe, you know, they didn't know their tax value gone up until just a few months ago. And all of a sudden they see the government is asking for more money, and as a result, they want more. So, and the other thing, actually, I keep saying, don't follow the flow because the market is crazy. You don't have to be crazy. So I really wanted to emphasize on the investment, but I don't have time much. But, you know, I mean, you need to know what you're doing. So there are some strategies how to pay less down payment for a house. So I'm going to have a couple of minutes for questions and answers, so I have to skip this. But there are lots of good things about investments. There are lots of good things, but at the same time, you have to be careful. There are some tax consequences that most people don't see. They get surprised when they're trying to sell their house, like capital gain or depreciation recapture tax. You know, these are big money that people need to pay. Some people get into trap because they didn't know that when they started actually doing real estate. So you have to talk to smart people, or at least the people who are in this business. So I have to skip these pages. So conclusion. You know, it's always good to know. This is actually the trademark for SaaS, the power to know. The more you know, the more successful you're going to be. Diversity is good. So, I mean, if you want to do stock market or something else, it's good, but please do your research before getting into trap. Do what you know the best, or do what you can or you will know the best. So I keep saying passive income. Life is good, but too short. Enjoy it. So I'm open to any questions. I have 1 minute. So any questions you can ask. Of course, I'm not going to say I know all of them. I know enough to put myself in trouble. So go ahead, please.
So thank you, Dr. Jafari. That was excellent. Really appreciate it. I believe you answered Joe Angel's question.
Any questions for me or Dr. Hammer?
We have another one in the chat. How can the big companies buy cheap when offers are going above the asking price?
No, one more time.
How can the big companies buy cheap when offers are going above the asking price?
So most of these big companies actually, like Zillow or Open Door, they have their own strategies. You know, it depends on the location. Of course, it depends on the city, and then within a city, it depends on the location. They do some homework, and you know, of course, you know, I've seen different situations that actually they try to compete with other buyers. They also pay over asking price. But most of the time, when it's a multiple offer, they back off. They stay away and look for another opportunity that doesn't have that much offer on it. Or they simply just wait. They don't buy it now until the market is slow, you know, because they already, they have good inventory. And just look them up on actually Wake County real estate database and see how many properties you see, and that's at least what you can see, you know, owned by Zillow or Open Door or whatever.
All right. Well, thank you. That concludes it. We're at 1 o'clock. So thank you, Dr. Jafari, for all this. Thank you for everybody who attended. We raised a good amount of money, about $500 for those.
I was expecting to get more questions, but it seems like, you know, I did a very good job. So I answered all the questions, right?
You did an excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. And
I
so
appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Hamid. Bye-bye.
we look forward to next month. Thank you everyone for being here. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll look forward to you. Congratulations, everybody, and thank you to Dr. Jafari. Take care.